are and what God has done for us. I want to say thank you to everyone that was in service last week. And we appreciate you coming out to support the work of the Lord. And we want to greet and welcome all the ministers of the gospel of Jesus Christ, our beautiful First Lady Sandra Davis, to all our friends and family and everyone in between. We greet you and we honor you this afternoon on God's Sabbath day. And we are grateful that He is still on the throne and He is still doing what He does and showing His majesty, His power, and His ability to bring us from one place to another. All right. Amen. Let's get into the word. Got a couple of scriptures for you. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, the government shall be put upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And it came to pass that when Jesus was returned, the people gladly received him, for they were all awaiting for him. And behold, there came a man named Jairus. He was a ruler of the synagogue, and he fell down at Jesus' feet and besought him that he would come into his house, for he had only one only daughter, about 12 years of age, and she lay a dying. But as he went, the people thronged him. A woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any. Amen. And we're going to talk about today my hero. My hero. My hero. Father, we bless you. We thank you for this time and this opportunity you've given us. Father, as we come before you, we ask you to inspire, instruct, and illuminate us in your word and through your word. We ask you to open our understanding of who you are through your word and because of your word. Deliver us, keep us in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you, and we trust that you will reveal your perfect will through your word this day, we pray. Amen. All right. My hero. My hero. A couple of things about that. When you talk about someone being a hero, that means someone that does exceptional, more than average work, more than average abilities, more than average skill set, more than average capabilities of doing things that are extraordinary. When you talk about someone being a hero, they go above and beyond to make sure you're safe or deliver you from circumstances beyond your control, or circumstances that you were not expecting, or circumstances that you did not realize you were in. A hero is someone that does not think of themselves or think about themselves, but thinks about those who are in trouble, those who are in need, those who are in desperation. And a hero usually is someone that likes to stay in the background or keeps quiet or doesn't want to draw too much attention to themselves. And we realize that we do have a hero. And of course, his name is Jesus. But we don't portray him as a hero. We don't look at him as a hero because we have the earthly version idea of a hero. So when we think about DC comics or Marvel comics on TV or movies, we look at good versus bad, and we think about like Superman, Batman, and things like that, or people like that, versus the evil entity of the world, and we sometimes look at good and evil like that, and that's a form of suggesting what a hero versus a villain is. A villain is someone that's evil, that is manipulative, that causes trouble, causes conflict, causes confusion. And if you don't understand where I'm going, then we do have a villain, and we do have a hero, and we are the benefactors of the life of a hero. And also, when it comes to the villain, sometimes we play into the ideas or the suggestions of the villain, and we fall or we succumb to the plots or the plans of the villain. And there are times when we fall short of following the villain, but we do have someone that is able, capable, and functionable to be our hero. And many times, when you go look on the news and people do extraordinary stuff or things out of normalcy, they get commendations or they get a medal or they get some type of special recognition as far as their bravery or their act to what they have done. But what we do when it comes to the extraordinary bravery and exploits of Jesus is he requires praise. He simply asks that he gets praised and worshiped. And he being our hero, sometimes we fall short of recognizing his heroism or his capability or his function of doing what he does best. We get comfortable and we get complacent in his abilities or his function as our hero. And we expect it every time that we find ourselves in trouble or we get in trouble, that he's going to bring us out and he's going to make sure that we come out on top and without any scratch or bruises. But there are times when he realizes, even as our hero, that he lets us sit a little bit longer from time to time to build the conflict or build the tension of the circumstance or situation, to realize that I'm on my way. I may not get there in the time that you expect or hope, but I am on my way. And I know that when I get there, all will be well and all will change. And there are times when we understand that God himself, being the source of our hero, Jesus, tells him to hold back sometimes a little bit longer. Let's see how things are going to manage and work out with those who are in conflict and in confusion. Because the job of the villain or the evil one is to create chaos and disturbance and see how we respond to conflict and disturbance. And every time we say, Lord, Lord, save, does he come to our rescue. He sometimes not delays it, but takes his time to get to us, to see how we build our character, even in the midst of trouble, even in the midst of conflict, even in the midst of confusion, even in the middle of debate and worry. So what then happens is, as the villain of the story plays his part or their part in the conflict, our hero stands back and sees how he's going to bring us out. He knows and he knew how he was already going to bring us out. and just waits for the opportune time that's suitable for him to come to our rescue. And one thing we need to understand, the word salvation not only means deliverance, but it also means to rescue. So when we received salvation, we were rescued from sin. We were rescued from our circumstance. We were rescued. And from time to time, we find ourselves needing to be rescued from all our infirmities, all our conflicts, all our ailments, or all our issues. But even in the times of conflict and confusion, God has already set up a rescue plan, a plan that makes sure that we come out. We may be bumped and bruised, and we may have some scrapes and some scars, but we walk away with our lives and our ability to give him praise. So what does that mean? That means that our hero, compared to the heroes of this time, of this world, or this fictional world that our heroes live in this world, he doesn't have any weaknesses. He doesn't have any flaws. He doesn't have an alter ego. He doesn't have to go into a phone booth and change clothes. He doesn't have to go to a layer and drive through his devices or his motorcycles or his airplanes or his cars. He simply shows up as himself and delivers us from all evil and all conflict and confusion. So when we understand that Jesus is our hero, and when you understand that, don't confuse what you've seen on TV or in movies versus the reality of who Jesus is. He is truly a hero of ours. So we find ourselves where Jesus has returned to the people in Capernaum. And we see that Jairus, which is one of the chief or the rulers of the synagogue in that city, called for Jesus. And he says to him, he fell on his feet, and I've been waiting for you, and I'm glad you returned. And I need you to come to my house. Because my daughter is home laying dead. My daughter is home laying dead. She's home laying dead. She fell asleep and she died. We don't know what happened or how it happened, but I know of your reputation and I know of your capabilities and how you function. And I need you to stop by my house because my circumstances are aligned with your assignment. My circumstances are aligned with your assignment to heal my daughter. And I've heard of what you've done for others, and I've heard what you've done for the multitude. And I've seen what you did for the multitude. And I've heard what you've done elsewhere because your fame is throughout all the land, throughout all of the Mediterranean countries and cities and towns and villages. I've heard of the capacity and the capability of what you can do. And I ask you to come to my house. Because she's 12 years old now. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. But she's 12 years old and she lays dying. And as he went and besought him and called for him and urged him to come and needed him to come to his house, there's some of us right now that have circumstances in our homes, in our houses. And it may not be to the point of death, but it's to the point of confusion and conflict. To the point of, God, Christ, I need you to show up because you know and you knew my situations and circumstances even before it happened. But I need you to show up because I know you're the only one that's capable of bringing a solution to this. And I know it may not be only death or necessarily exclusively death, but there's something. I need you to come by my house and pay me a visit. I need you to come to my home because I know there's something that I cannot manage or control by myself. So as Jairus besought Jesus to come to his home, so do we beseech God to come to our home, for Christ to enter through the doors. But at the same time, as Jairus' daughter was laying dead at home, there was another set of circumstances at the same time within even the same city. And we separate the two stories, not realizing both of them go together because Jesus shows up. And there was a woman having an issue of blood for 12 years, and she spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any. And at the same time, Jairus' daughter is home dead in the bed. The woman with the issue of blood for 12 years is in the same city. So that goes to show me that all of us have things going on at the same time as Jesus shows up. All of us got something going on as Jesus shows up. All of us have requests and petitions as Jesus shows up. All of us has a to-do list for him as he shows up. All of us has an agenda for him as he shows up. So just as Jairus' daughter is home dead in bed and the woman the issue of blood is gone through her circumstances, we all here have things on request or have requested or will be requesting or should be requesting of Jesus all at the same time. But the capability of him is he can answer all of us at the same time. A hero in this side or in this world can only rescue people one at a time. Superman can't rescue everybody all at the same time unless they're in the same place. So he prioritizes which is more urgent than the other. Hence he goes to the more urgent situation first, then goes to the lesser situation later on. But our hero, Jesus, shows up at the same time in the same place and can be multitasked all at the same time. The thing about it is, when you look at a group of heroes, they can deal with some problems depending on their skill and ability. They can rescue or save, or they may need help and assistance depending on their power or their ability and what they are good at. And sometimes they can only do a certain portion of their ability, but then they have to get someone else to assist them to finish the other part of their ability that they don't have. And that means they work in pairs to save and rescue people. And not all of them can rescue a person all at the same time, all at once. So they work in pairs and say, you go this way, I'll go that way, and we go this way. But Jesus can multitask with his capability all at the same time and speak and heal us all in the same place. no matter what your priority is, no matter what your priority it needs to be, he can speak to all of us at the same time, heal us at the same time as he functions as himself singularly. He is capable of bringing healing and deliverance to us all at once. You don't have to necessarily be in line or take a number or have your urgency prioritized based on your circumstances and his availability. You can be at the same place that I am, at the same position that you are, and the same capability that he is to bring healing and deliverance all at once. So you don't, that's the reason why God says he is omnipresent. He can be at the same place in different places all at the same time. He can be in different places all at the same time. So wherever you're located, whatever city or town or state or country or village or wherever you are at the same time, healing can be restored to you as healing is being restored to me at the same time. You don't have to worry about God prioritizing which one is more urgent than the other. He functions as God and is capable of delivering you and I at the same time. That's why we can rejoice at the same time when our prayer is answered and healing and deliverance is issued and ushered to us all at the same time. So no matter where you are, no matter where you will be, no matter if you're in your car going to work, no matter if you at work sitting at your desk or on your way on a train or a bus or a bicycle, God through Christ can give healing no matter where you are. He doesn't worry about the priority or saying this is more urgent than this. Once he hears the cry of his children and know the urgency behind it, he will then send healing to you. And if you don't believe that, he'll have his angel. Wait, we talked about it last night. He'll give his angels charge over you. Wait up. And you have to understand that Christ is not, he doesn't have any weaknesses. He doesn't have weaknesses like a Superman with kryptonite or with other fictional heroes that have shortcomings and have soft spots or has anything like that. He can function in his strength as a healer. He can function in his strength as a deliverer. So the devil doesn't have anything over him. The devil can't say, well, I know of this, or I can use this, or I can do that. No, the devil can't step to Jesus knowing that he's capable of bringing you through. So whatever the heroes we watch on TV may be short or fall short in certain capabilities, our God is the awesome God. He reigns forevermore with wisdom, power, and love. You have to understand who your God is and who your hero is and who your Christ is and who your Messiah is. Because we got two sets of circumstances all at once. Jesus didn't show up for the woman with the issue of blood. Jesus didn't show up to be touched by the hem of his garment, though he knew all things beforehand. But his priority was to go to the house of Jairus to bring his daughter back to life. But as he's moving through the crowd, and imagine going through 12 years of uncertainty and 12 years of conflict and 12 years of confusion, and you're going to specialized doctors and you're going to people that deal with specialty of healing and herbs and different things that can restore you, and they couldn't have the answer, and they don't have the answer. But she heard about a man named Jesus, and she heard of what he was capable of doing, and she heard what his capacity was when it came to healing. Hence the reason why she said, but if I can just touch. Now, she is going through 12 years of bleeding and 12 years of hemorrhaging and 12 years of fatigue and 12 years of everything. Matter of fact, the book of the law says she should not be in public. If she touches you, you can be unclean because of her issue of blood. And the law states that a woman should not touch anyone because of her issue of blood. But she was in a place of desperation that no matter what the circumstances were or what the circumstances showed, she was going to push her way, press her way, make a way, in no way possible to be healed because Jesus shows up. I just come to ask you a question. How are you like this woman with the issue of blood, and are you capable of knowing the reputation of Jesus to press through the crowd, knowing that people know your business and people talk about you and people can identify you, people can point you out, people can recognize what you've gone through and recognize what you're dealing with and recognize your set of circumstances? Can you realize that everyone knew what she was dealing with? Everyone knew what she was facing. She was in no relationship. She couldn't have any children. She couldn't get married. She couldn't court. She couldn't do anything. She just had an issue for 12 long years. But the right time, at the right place, under the right circumstances. Because, ooh, wait, hold up. I'm sorry. Okay, someone else's problem became her solution. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Jairus' problem became the woman with the issues of blood solution. At the right time, under the right place, at the right setting. If Jairus' daughter didn't die, the woman with the issue of blood would not have the possibility to have touched the. Wait, hold up. So what are you saying? Sometimes your circumstances have to be so grave, have to be so severe and so tragic that it gives someone else the opportunity to touch Jesus. Sometimes, unfortunately, what you're going through and what you're dealing with is an opportunity for someone else to get deliverance and healing also. It's not a matter of you called and told anyone. It's just a matter of opportunity and timing of what you're dealing with gives someone else the capability to have deliverance in their house, have victory in their circumstances, have victory. Wait, hold up. To be rescued. Hold on, there it is. To be rescued. So wait, hold up. So wait. Jairus knew of the capabilities and the capacity of Jesus. The woman with the issue of blood heard that Jesus was coming to town. And she realized after all that hold up. I got it. Yes. She realized that she was in a perfect place at the perfect time under the right settings to have. Deanna, pass me that book right there. Right, yes. She didn't realize, thank you. She didn't realize that she was at the right place, at the right time, under the right circumstances to get victory, and there it is. You have to realize that God sets you up for deliverance. You don't realize that God sets you up to be rescued. You don't realize that God sets you up to be healed. You may not have come in contact with the set of circumstances unless somebody else's circumstances didn't happen. And what Christ is capable of doing, he's able to answer us depending on where we are. If you need healing, if you need money, if you need a job, if you need to be rescued, if you need to be delivered, if you need this, if you need that, if you need something, if you need something, if you need this, depending on what your need is, God is capable. Jesus is capable in this very moment to heal all of us and answer all of us. If you got problems with your husband, if you got problems with your wife, if you got problems with your child, your children, whatever the case, your health, your wealth, or your job, whatever your need is in this very moment. Wait, hold up. There's a song I remember we used to sing. It says, reach out and touch the Lord as he passes by. For you'll find he's not too busy to hear your heart's cry. He's passing by this moment. Your need to supply. Reach out and touch the Lord. And Jesus going to Jairus' daughter's house, the woman with the issue of blood learned. She may not have known that song. She may never ever know that song or the capacity of that song, but we are fortunate to have those lyrics to us now. And she confirms the song, the words that I just spoke. For you'll find he's not too busy to hear your heart's cry. He's passing by this moment. Your needs to supply. Reach out and touch the Lord as hold up. If you got a need right now, I need you to reach out and touch him. If you have a need right now, call his name. If you have a need right now, reach your hand out and say, touch me. If you have a need right now, extend yourself and say, God, I'm here standing in the need of prayer. If you have a need that you need to be supplied, reach out and touch him. And I know everybody, it's not into the possibilities of what you're used to, but if you are desperate enough and in need enough, you'll reach out your hand and say, Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. If thou would withdraw thyself from me, where shall I go? But reach out and touch him in this moment. And I know you might say, well, Pastor, no, you don't understand. He's omniscient. He's omnipresent. He knows all because he is all and he's everywhere at the same time. So no matter where you are, reach out and touch him because he has the capability and the function to touch you. But you have to understand that his assignment was to Jairus' daughter. Not that he didn't know or he wasn't incapable of healing the woman with the issue of blood. Wait, but hold up. But there's a song we used to sing. It says, the great physician is now here, the sympathizing Jesus. He speaks the drooping heart to cheer. Oh, hear the voice of Jesus. And I love this. Sweetest note in seraph song. Sweetest name on mortal tongue. Sweetest carol ever sung. Jesus. Blessed Jesus. So hold up. He's not just a hero, but he's a physician. The great physician is now here, the sympathizing Jesus. He speaks the drooping heart to cheer. Oh, hear the voice of Jesus. Sweetest note in seraph song. Sweetest name on mortal tongue. Sweetest carol ever sung. Jesus. Blessed Jesus. And I remember that song because when I was a child, they sang that song at times exclusively when someone was ailing or going through something spiritually really significant or healing of their body, and they were calling on, wait, hold up, the great physician, the balm in Gilead, the sympathizing Jesus. And I need you to understand that no matter what his assignment may be, he will pass by and touch you. No matter what his assignment is, he is our hero. We're going to get to that later. But you have to realize that he's passing by. And when he passes by, reach out and touch him. She understood she needed healing. She needed someone to touch her. She needed Jesus to touch her. She said, if I but just touch the hem of his garment, I will be made complete. I will be made whole. She came behind him and touched the border of his garment, the zigi, the hem, and immediately her issue of blood stanched. It stopped. It stopped. It stopped. It completed and it stopped. And the reason why it stopped, because she had the belief, the faith in her belief that if I touch him, she taught, wait, hold up. And there it is. Just like David encouraged himself in the Lord, the woman with the issue of blood encouraged herself in the Lord to say, if I just touch the hem, what do I have to lose? What else can happen to me? What else is there that will not happen for me? But if I just touch. So Jesus asked the question. He said, who touched me? And Peter and all that were with him said, wait, hold up. Nobody touched you. There's a great multitude here, and press against us and press against you, Jesus. He said, no. He said, wait, hold up. He said, wait up. Someone touched me. Someone touched me. Someone touched me. For I perceive that virtue has gone out of me. And that word virtue means power. That virtue means force. That virtue means miraculous power. That word means force, literally and figuratively. Power has left me. Something of myself has left because someone had the belief in me, the faith in me, to understand if they just touch me. So wait. She didn't touch his hand. She didn't touch his foot. She touched what was touching him. She touched what was touching him. And she believed that whatever was touching him was close enough that she can receive her healing. So wait, what you need to do is believe that when you touch him, when you touch something that's touching him, he'll stop what he's doing. He'll ask, who touched me? And he'll perceive that someone touched me because virtue, force, power has gone out of me. And she, with her issue of blood being stanched or stopped, when he looked and when he saw the woman was not hid, she came trembling and falling before him. She declared to him before all the people that she had touched him and how she was healed immediately. She came trembling, nervous, scared, because everyone knew her business and everyone was talking about her and everyone had something to say. But she came and declared and said, it was me that touched you. And she also let him know she was healed immediately. So wait, so what? He said unto her, daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. thy faith have made that your conviction. You are persuaded to touch me. You were convicted to touch me. And because of your conviction, because of you being persuaded, you are made whole. You are made complete. Go in peace. That's only part of the story. That's only part of the story. Because some of you, that's only part of the story. But there's others of you, he still hasn't come to your house yet. He still hasn't come to your house yet. That's only those of you that went to seek after him, to touch him, to go after him, to pursue him, because you're convinced, you're persuaded that if you just touch him while he's passing by, that's only some of the story for some of you, because he hasn't entered into your house yet for the others. So wait. So now, the woman with the issue of blood, she goes off the scene. She goes in peace because she's completely whole. So now he goes into the house. The ruler of the synagogue, Jairus, my daughter is dead. By this time, one of the servants tells him, your daughter is dead, before she was on her way to death, but now she is dead. So wait. But when Jesus heard, he answered him, saying, fear not, believe only, and she shall be made whole. Wait up. It's the same word that Jesus uses with the woman with the issue of blood. Whole, complete, in her fullness. So wait. Okay, God, thank you. So wait. And when he came into the house, he suffered no man to go in, save Peter and James and John, and the father and the mother of the maiden. So he didn't want nobody else there. He said, all that wept and bewailed her, he said, weep not, for she is not dead, but sleepeth. So wait, as he's saying that, everyone laughed. The Bible says they laughed him to scorn, knowing that she was dead. But hold up, they didn't know that he is the resurrection and the life. They didn't know, though while she was dead, yet shall she live. They didn't know this sickness was not unto death, because they didn't know the story of Lazarus, that he said, I am the resurrection and the life. Though he were dead, yet shall he live. You have to realize, people are going to laugh you to scorn. People are not going to understand your circumstances completely. People are not going to understand your situation completely. People are not going to understand all the details completely. And what did Jesus do? He put them all out. He put them all out. He said, y'all got to go. Y'all got to go. Y'all got to go. Everybody out. If you don't believe, you got to go. You got to go. I need you to exit left. And God and Jesus cleared out the room. And he took the maiden by the hand. He said, maid, arise. Damsel, arise. And her spirit came back to her again. And she rose straightway and commanded her, and he commanded to give her meat, give her food. And the parents were astonished, but they changed and they charged them that they should tell the man what was done. So wait, hold up. You're telling me you brought my daughter back to life. People laughed you to scorn. And the same people that you kicked out of the house, kicked out of the room, I shouldn't say anything to? I shouldn't say anything to? You came to my house. You told me that she's only sleeping. And you told me to fear not. And you told me to believe only, and that she will be made whole. Weep not, she is not dead, but sleepeth. And you kicked everybody out, and you held her by the hand, and you told her to arise. Damsel, arise. And she arose straightway and began to eat. The, we are, we have no words for this situation. And we have no words for what's going on. But he charged them that they should tell no man what was done. Because if you told, there's some things, if you tell people, they're not going to believe you. If you tell people some things, they will laugh at you and say, that's nothing but a story, a make-believe. That's a fictional thing. Just like the fictional heroes and superheroes that are in the world. But Jesus, being our hero, being our rescuer, being our salvation, being our deliverer, being our one that brings us out of any and all situations. He's our hero. He told them, don't say nothing. Because if you say something, sometimes people won't believe your testimony. Sometimes people won't believe your story because it sounds too good to be true. Sometimes the people that talk about you have to be the ones to experience something similar to what you have gone through to see the power and the function of God, to see the power and the capacity of God. Sometimes you got to hold your peace. Sometimes God tells you to hold it until the right time because your faith can convince, your faith can persuade others to believe in the same God. Do you realize your testimony can convince and influence others to serve God truly? Do you realize others can be saved through your testimony? But God, in his ability and his function, can make you understand that he is God. Okay. So you had two stories, two different situations happening at the same time in the presence of Jesus all at once. You had the story of the woman with the issue of blood as Jesus is pressing through the crowd. And as she presses through the crowd, mind you, Jairus' daughter is still dead. He received word as Jesus walking through the crowd that your daughter is dead at home. Mind you, that's not what the primary assignment was. He was able, he was able to do two things, all under the same assignment, all under the same setting, all in the same city as he's walking. That's why you need to know and understand that no matter who's around you or how many is around you, God, Christ himself, can facilitate your deliverance. He can make sure it happens, but you have to be persuaded to know that it can happen. You have to be convinced that God, you can do it. If you did it for this one, if you did it for that one. So wait, so what makes you think there were not other people in the crowd, may not have had issues of blood, but had circumstances that were beyond their control, that had circumstances beyond their belief that Jesus, as he passed by, could have, if he did it for her, after 12 years of affliction, what makes he can't do it for me? After several days, after several months, after several hours of going through, if I see that damsel walking out of that house, bouncing, joyous, skipping, hopping, and jumping for Darius and his wife, what makes you think I can't be persuaded or convinced that God cannot do what he did for them? It may not be to the same level, because I may not be dealing with what they're dealing with, but he's still functionable to bring me through. He still has the capacity with the capability to bring me through. You have to understand who your God is. So now, I'm sure you're questioning, Pastor, why do you call Jesus my hero? Why the word hero? Why? And there's a couple of things I want to jump to quickly before that. You see the number 12. The number 12 was also a theme in this story. You have to realize that the number 12 talks about the government of Jesus and the divine completeness of his capabilities. And it shows the completeness of who he is. Okay. You have to realize the girl was 12 years old, and the woman with the issue of blood was 12 years in her circumstances. And Jesus shows up in the 12th year. Jesus shows up in the 12th year of their circumstances, and in the 12th year of life, and in the 12th year of his capability of bringing them through. You have to realize that God is trying to show you something. That God is making you understand his authority and his completeness and his divine perfect time. His perfect time. His perfect time. God does not make mistakes with his timing. It was a perfect time. Though it was 12 years, or in the 12th year, you have to realize his government, oh God, his authority happened at the right time, at the right place, in the right setting. You may not need to go through 12 years or something, and you may not be in your 12th year or something, but God was showing in these situations his authority and his perfect timing. You have to realize that no matter what time God shows up is the right time. But for these women, for this woman, and for these parents, it happened divinely with his authority at the door. So Isaiah 9 verse 6, as we're going to go back in verse 7, says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. The government shall be put on his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God." Hold on to that. "The Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." So we go back to the phrase, the Mighty God. And in Hebrew, it's called El Gibor, Gibbor, El Gibor, the Mighty God. And what you don't understand to that is this. El Gibor, it means mighty, strong, vigilant, or valiant, but it also means warrior. But there's also one more meaning. It means hero. So Isaiah giving a description of what his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. But in the middle of all of that, he's mighty, he's strong, he's vigilant, he's a warrior, and he's also a hero. So in the middle of describing who Jesus will become and who Jesus will be to the earth, you are hearing a description of your Christ, my Christ, our Christ, as a hero. And what does a hero do? He comes and rescues the weak, and he rescues the fallen. He rescues the ones that don't have anyone to stand or defend them. As many times as we've seen cartoons and the superhero comes and rescues and lifts up and defends and blocks and absorbs blows and absorbs forces. That's who Jesus is to us. He blocks, he defends, he absorbs, he'll uphold. He'll do it. Before he was born, He was already being described. Before he took his first step, he already was being told about. Before his first miracle, he was already being revealed. My hero. My hero. My hero. He's your hero too. How many times have you testified of his deliverance? How many times you have testified he's defended you? How many times have you testified he fought for you? How many times has he done extraordinary things for you? How many times have you testified that he's rescued you and brought you out? That's what a hero does. And that's what a hero is. So he may not fly around in a cape or wear a mask. He may not be on TV, but he's still part of an innumerable company of angels. An innumerable company of angels. So he has his own army. He has his own authority. He has his own power. He has it. He has it. And you have access to all of it. So I pray today that as these stories of these women and this family has come to us, you'll understand his saving and healing power of who he is even before he was born. Amen. Amen.